Welcome to this episode of Mario Kart Tour, everyone. Today we'll be taking a look at the New Year's 2022 tour, so thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all the happiest and healthiest of New Year's. You can share your support with the channel by leaving a like on this video and subscribing if you haven't. Certainly our objective, data-driven approach to this game, combined with the unique perspective both from the casual and the competitive side, provides unique flavor to the experience of Mario Kart Tour, and I do hope you all enjoy it out there. So without further ado, let's check out the new pipe here, and we have a big surprise that came out. It sent shockwaves through the community, and that is that this Meowser character has coin box. So this is right where I want to start off, and that you are not obligated to make polls on this just because it has the item coin box, right? If you were looking forward to Meowser as a character, then it's just a bonus that it has coin box. But I do want you to be aware that if you feel pressure to pull on this item just to stay current with the game, that is feeding into one of the predatory tactics that Nintendo uses, and it's just basically keeping you on the rat race. And look, if that's something that you want to continue going towards, if you have goals that you wish to accomplish, then this character will help you achieve those goals. But certainly there is a negative side to the coin box, one of which is the feeling of obligation, like you must perform a certain action, whether or not you had planned to do so at this moment. And that is going to disrupt a lot of plans out there, as well as the value that this character fills in on old existing tracks in destroying the niches of other characters that you may have already invested into. So Coinbox is a very complex situation, and I'd like to cover it from all facets here on the channel. So the starting value of Meowser, we see that he has 8 tracks of value, 4 of which are unlocked with using level up tickets. He has access to the brand new track Bowser's Castle from the 3DS game Mario Kart 7, as well as the trick version if you were to take it all the way up to level 6. Now, neither of those tracks start off with coin boxers, and neither does Cautionary Desert R, as well as RMX Ghost Valley 1T. So half of the tracks starting off, Meowser has no competition in the way of existing coin box drivers in the game, and the other 4 all have coin box or boomerang drivers that are already available. So, but the caveat to that, of course, is that Meowser, if we scroll up, you can see he's a heavyweight. So, with that being said, the size of the character has influence on the size of the hitbox that you can perform actions with during the race, which means he'll have access to a wider spread of coins and is able to achieve the maximum scoring potential with that coin box. Whereas some of the other coin box drivers that are on these tracks, such as RMX Rainbow Road 2, with the case of Tuxedo Mario, for instance, who is a middleweight, or Kamek, who's a middleweight on Cautionary Desert, and RMX Ghost Valley 1, then Meowser will be superior in terms of maximum scoring output if you were able to put in the same degree of investment that you have into those other coin boxers. So that is all stuff that I want to have you keep in mind. Now, the value of Meowser is going to be entirely upfront value, right? Because we have the Bowser's Castle is in week 1 of ranked mode, and then week 2 has level 6 access with Bowser Castle T. So immediately he's starting off with multiple ranked uses this tour. And if we swing it over to the drivers list, which is over here, we'll take a look at Cat Rosalina and compare how I expect to see the projection of these characters develop as time moves on. So here we go. Cat Rosalina looks very nice, and she is the one that comes packaged with Super Bell, which is not a formidable skill. It's the middle of the pack, just the same, dime a dozen, right? It's just as good as any other skill, basically. You're playing for the coin frenzies in these situations. And she'll be in the week 2 pipe. So she's not available yet, except in the standard pool, which you're not going to pull on the week 1 pipe expecting to get Cat Rosalina. That would be a very nice surprise if you do end up managing to pull her from that. But she will be a spotlight, a guaranteed item in the week 2 pipe. Now she is starting off with the same 8 courses of value, which is right in the middle, right? It's not the minimum that we've seen as far as drivers go, but it's certainly not near the top. We've seen drivers with 9 and 10 courses of value upon their release. However, both Cat Rosalina as well as Meowser have 100% of their tracks being assumed value, since there are no nitro tracks featured in this tour, which is good news on the initial value here. But that does account for the lower course count. She'll have access to the Bowser's Castle T track at level 1, so you won't have to level her up at all. And then if you were to take her to level 6, we see Choco Mountain RT, which is also a week 2 ranked track. So she could be very formidable for you, but do keep in mind her coin box overlap is quite extensive, and that is an unfortunate situation. The only one in which she doesn't have coin box overlap is on the Donut Plains. There are some super drivers there that have access to Boomerang, but apples to apples comparison, if you have the high-end driver completely maxed out, then a completely maxed out super, even with Boomerang, will not be able to compete with a high end of just even a conventional skill. The question is, in the practical sense, who out there will be willing to invest that mightily into a driver like this? Well, certainly if you are a Rosalina fan, that is of interest for you. Now, since her initial value is so much weaker than that of Meowser, she's going to be the long-term superstar here, right? She's going to be the paywall warrior. That Meowser character, he may get at most 1 paywall track. If not, he will get access to all of the complimentary ranked tracks and eventually end up with a smaller amount of course coverage overall than will this Cat Rosalina character. But do keep in mind that Cat Rosalina has to worry, if you are also investing into Coinbox, just how many of those tracks she will have access to that are not already occupied by Coinbox drivers. So, and those are questions that we cannot yet answer. However, as that paywalled value comes in, very, very few of those tracks are populated with the Coinbox drivers upon release. So that is where we will see her Coinbox overlap decrease over time. That's going to be on the back end of the value. That's down the road, long-term value. Otherwise, what are some of the other items in this pipe? We have access to the Tiger Bruiser, not a great hitbox. Dash Panel Plus isn't great, and it only starts off with 7 tracks of value. So this is a very average looking cart. I don't expect much to become of it. And all the other items are pre-existing. The one thing of note is this Calico Parafoil does have a pretty healthy amount of value, as we can see here, although many of the tracks are nitro based and they're not assumed value. And then if we take a look at the carts, we'll take a look at what will be the week 2 cart paired with Cat Rosalina. And it should be right here. Yes. So here we go. The Gray Cat Cruiser, and starts off with an additional track of value. So this has 8 tracks. This has much more potential to become a stronger cart long term than does the Tiger Bruiser, given that that pipe will also be pulled on less, and we know with fairly good confidence that Nintendo references the data of the players informing of what the top shelf on a lot of these new tracks will become, right? So that way that will keep the game monetized and the revenue generating moving forward. So this brand new cart is in a bundle. The Sports Coupe 2022 looks pretty sharp. Not a huge fan of the colors, and I'm even less of a fan of these the track coverage here. I have never actually seen an item start with such low value. This is less than the value of any item that has been brought to the pipe, which is what I analyze in great detail here on the channel. 6 tracks of value. I don't know if this is going to get made up for or not. Given that this is the New Year's tour and it's not having a lot of value, since it is a commemorative item, it may end up with more of that paywall favor, but that's not something I can speak on personal experience for, since I am a free-to-play player. And if we yeah, so we already took a look at the Tiger Bruiser. Now, one last thing to note are the gliders here. So we have a gold pipe that's going to be coming out. It looks like Dry Bowser Gold will be the only spotlight, and it will contain drivers, carts, and gliders. So this could perhaps be another 7 high-end pipe where we can see a 2-2-2 distribution of high ends with that one spotlight gold Dry Bowser, and that would be the 7 high ends overall. And if we take a look here, we have the gold toe bean balloons, and it is Coin Plus, another Coin Plus glider being brought to a gold pipe right after we had the golden wings and the gold home field glider in just the last 6 months. So starting value here is just 7 tracks, and it does have access to the new paywall tracks both in week 1 and week 2. Week 2 upon leveling up, and we can really draw comparisons to these golden wings and just see what happened with the value on these. A lot of the paywall tracks, right? We see Merry Mountain RT, we see Bowser's Castle T, which will be in week 2. So that's the kind of trend that you can expect to see the gold toe bean balloons to go in, right? Special pipe items obtain the paywall value early in their lifespan compared to a lot of these weekly spotlight items that we had already just gone over. So that's all stuff for you folks to keep in mind. The shop is also upgraded this tour. So right here we have the Dixie Kong set with the Banana Master and the Tropical Glider. We saw that there was no new Kong edition in the year 2021, and 2022 will start off much the same way. So instead of analyzing the value of an item that I would be looking to invest forward into in great detail, I can take a look at the whole landscape and point out some of the pitfalls and the predatory tactics that Nintendo is using. For any of you folks out there that feel a little bit too much pressure with the game, remember this is all about fun, and you don't ever need to feel pressured in a mobile game. So if you are feeling those things, that's a chance to step back and assess why it is that you feel that way. And if that's being generated by the devs, that's something you want to be aware of, seriously. And you know, make decisions that are in your best interest, not necessarily in their best interest. So here we go. We see a very generous selection. We have the high-end tickets for driver kind there, both the level up and the points cap tickets, and nothing going on with the shop here. In terms of the tier shop, now we see double high ends, the regular Dry Bowser, regular Dry Bowser, the Koopa King here, not a great amount of value, and a daily select super. So if you're still working on maxing out your shop daily selects, that's very good. Now, in terms of ranked mode, I've basically only been competing on these in terms of, you know, when I have the interest to do so, because that's a way that I can kind of command my own experience in the game and don't let them dictate to me when I'm investing the time, right? I make that choice for myself. But given that many of you out there will likely be wanting to compete in this ranked mode, I'll go through a quick rundown of what I see here. So we have a coin box driver as well as a boomerang driver with Yoshi Kangaroo. So many players are already invested into that, as well as we see some of these more exclusive paywall oriented characters. Nice to see Cowboy Wario get the buff, and we have a pair of Rosalinas that have the buffing favor here. Interesting to see that Diddy Kong got a middle shelf track buff, and as we can see, if Diddy Kong was named to this cup, if this were the Diddy Kong Cup as opposed to the Cat Peach Cup, he would then rise to that top shelf, the favorite course value, so to speak. So if I were going for score, which I won't be competing in ranked mode this week, I would be going with King Boo Gold, but I'm just going to click on Diddy Kong here as my vote of confidence for future content in the Kongs. Here for top shelf cards, the Zoom Broom is still coming in mighty strong. We see some holiday items, as well as that yellow off-roader is starting to come in good. And then we have a collection of villain cards there. The gliders are pretty much paywalled. a couple of special pipe items. The Starry Great Sail is now in the standard high-end pool, so we could pull that in today's challenge pipe, which I'll do shortly. Otherwise, yeah, these are pay locked, and if I do believe, I think they increased the price on this because they added extra tickets, if I'm not mistaken, which is a questionable decision. Definitely a cash grab on that part. So here we go. I would be using middle shelf if I were playing for score, and there you go. So the other tracks that are previously exposed, and you have more friendly free-to-play options here. We see that there is Blue Birdo, which was a ranked reward, as well as if you leveled up this Yellow Toad Pit Crew, his value has sure increased. So level 6 is what would be required to have him for ranked mode. So many of you out there have already invested into Yellow Toad, and that is likely to be your preferred option here. And the cart selection, Cactice is a standard high-end. The White Yoshi Turbo Cart was in the tier shop several months back, and then the Cat Cruiser and bundle options. So there's options aplenty here for us, definitely. And then the Planet Glider was in the tier shop along with the White Turbo Yoshi several months ago. So certainly not a good loadout for me here. Perhaps some of these items are ones that you've invested into that you'd be willing to take up a notch if you want to compete in this week's ranked mode. Then we have Dino Jungle Tea, which is one of the original tracks, so this is going to be very friendly here. We have Daily Select Supers, a bunch of high ends, a coin boxer there, so yeah, Bowser's still level 3 for me, what do you know. Banana Master will go to level 3 with the token shop purchase, and then we have a level 7 completely maxed out Daily Selects Glider, the Swooper. So that's my setup for this one, but your options are sure to be bountiful there. All right, let's go into today's challenge next, and then we'll take a look at the week 2 ranked mode and go from there. So we have Dixie Kong for today's challenge. I believe it was last tour I pulled her on a pipe, and actually since she's completely maxed out on my account, I ended up seeing my coin count go up, so it actually was not suspenseful. I knew right away that it was Dixie Kong, but it was still very nice of her to bring me coins on the account, and she'll be bringing me coins once again with the token shop feature that she has. So I will collect 6,000 coins when I claim the tokens for her there. Alright, looking good. Oop, I accidentally fired the green shell. Now I got passed up. So will we be able to make a comeback? Well, Banana Frenzy won't help. I'll have to do it with lines, which I'm not doing a swell job of it at the moment. Alright. Let's see, what can we get here? Well, we get second place. That's fine. Still 20k thanks to the completely maxed out Dixie Kong. Let's see, do the totals change here? Because that kind of gives you a little bit of a forecast on what we're going to pull. So 2246 and 33045. So it looks like I pulled neither rubies nor coins, although I believe when we pulled the 10,000 coins that one time, the coin count didn't change. So let's just go into it. We see it's a green pipe, could be pretty much anything. Oh, 1,000 coins. Wait, did I miss that? We'll have to go back and rewind the tape to see what happened there. Anyway, week 2's ranked mode, we have Rainbow Road 2. And here, actually, I was mistaken before I said Tuxedo Mario. I meant Santa Bowser is the option here. So this is the situation then where you have 2 heavyweight coin box drivers. And in such a case, then you're going to favor the one that you already have invested into. So if you pulled for Santa Bowser, Meowser isn't going to do much for you here. But otherwise, there are those lucky 7 options. Painter Luigi was in a pipe on the 2nd anniversary tour, And Party Time Lakitu was last year's New Year edition of the game. So we'd be going with Luigi here, a couple of carts that have been standard high ends for a little bit of time, so that's nice. And then this New Year's Kite was in the pipe last year and also the year prior, and then the 8-bit star is accessible as a standard high end. So that's the loadout that I would be looking at for this track. Not too formidable, but it is all top shelf, which is good news. Then we have Choco Mountain RT. I have Black Birdo at level 2 compared to Tuxedo Mario at level 1. Good question here, which one to go forward with. Perhaps Tuxedo Mario, I'll have to run it through the calculator to see if the extra actions that I would be generating would be enough additional bonus points, since the difference between a level 2 and a level 1 is very minor. And given that we have this level 6 Rambi runner here, as well as the Star Shoot, which if we take a look at all of the items that are available, will likely be in the tier shop for the second week, because the other possibilities would be the black toe beans, but that's never been given in the tier shop, and the silver Star Shoot has been given multiple times. So this is effectively the only possible option that's going to be there. So I'll likely bring mine to level 4 through the tier shop purchase, and that's what we're looking at there. Pretty strong loadout. And then we get to the brand new track here, Bowser's Castle T. And this is the one consolation prize, right? We do have Donkey Kong Jr. in the top shelf here, as well as Peach Explorer. And then that was the passing of the torch moment that I had described. If we take a look at the value of Waluigi Vampire, look at what's been going on there, right? We see Merry Mountain RT, we see Vancouver Velocity, and now we have Bowser's Castle T right on schedule. This is all the stuff I talk about on the channel. So if you're not following what's going on, if you want to gain more insight into exactly the mechanisms of how this game works, we've figured it out here, and we share all the details, and it's very powerful information that you want to make use of. So by all means, go ahead and subscribe. Here I'm lacking a top shelf cart, but that's okay, because I mean it's a very strong loadout. I'd be going with middle shelf Zoom Broom, and then we have the Dream Glider, which is very nice. Overlaps with the Kongs quite a bit, and you can see, if you do pull for some of these items looking for that top shelf saving potential, this is what can happen. Because look, the Dream Glider's in play. DK Jr.'s in play. If I pulled for some of these other ones, they end up overlapping. So certainly you don't want to make those speculative dives too often, right? You want to do it at specifically the right points, and I have shared with you when those points are. Ideally, you only need to pull once every 8 to 10 tours, which is roughly 2 to 3 months of time. That's all you need to pull for. Okay, just to continue performing respectably in the game. Anything beyond that is, up to your own agenda, as well as, could be pressured on behalf of the game. But remember, the progress that you gain now will be given back later, and the progress that you're giving up now can be obtained later. It can be obtained at any time. There's no pressure to do that now. You saw my rubies count, and in the past where my tickets are at. I'm not going to show them right now, but there's no need to operate on the game's time scale, right? Play on your own level. And as I would call that, rising above the gotcha, right? We want those, all of the predatory pressure tactics that they try to implement, through awareness and understanding of the game systems. You can thwart the attempts that those have, and really command and control your own experience and enjoy it. Look, nobody says that you have to, pull as little as I do. Certainly I don't expect that. And ooh, what's going on here? Bit of a different layout than the regular version from what I'm used to. But you certainly don't have to pull as little as I do. And but on the flip side, still being aware of these factors and forces that are in play, that might just alleviate some of you out there into just making the decisions that are in your own best interest. And that's at the heart of everything that we seek to do here. So pretty cool setup here with the cannons and the gliding path and these ramps. I mean, there's definitely a lot of options. And this was a nice track to kind of showcase the potential of Mario Kart Tour in a way, because it feels a bit like what they were doing with the Ninja Hideaways series of tracks, which was a nitro that they brought. So definitely you can see some inspiration that was taken from this, since this is a retro track. It existed before. That lava pit is definitely a troublemaker. I'm not going to come in first on this because I hit it in both laps. But it's still going to be a massive score thanks to the DK Jr. there. So there you have it, 4th place finish, and we are at 18K, not too shabby. All right, and with that out of the way, no thank you, we do not want this glider. So let's just go into the pipe right now. Should you folks pull on this pipe? Well, if Meowser was a character that you wanted on your account, the moment that you saw him in the trailer, by all means pull on this pipe. If Coinbox is your favorite item and you love to pursue the different kinds of scoring records that are possible out there, this is also a pipe for you. But this isn't a mandatory pull. I do want to make that very clear to everyone out there that you don't have to pull on this pipe, okay? I won't be doing so except with these 2 freebies with you right now. So here we go. First one up, we have a green pipe. And a normal cart. That's been the theme of all the pipes here lately. And the second one up, also green. Okay, we have a normal glider, so not much to grow the account with there, but it's quite all right because my focus on the game is, and with the content here, is in enhancing the community experience, really getting to the bottom of what this game's systems are and various ways to approach that so that this can be the most enjoyable, fun and carefree experience that is out there for all of you, and finding the different scales that it can accompany each of us in our own lives, and not letting any of the darker predatory elements of that take hold of us or affect us in any kind of negative way that's out there. So with all that out of the way, I do hope you enjoy this tour. The new track looks phenomenal. I'm going to give it a few more races through so I don't keep driving through the lava pit. And I wish you all the best of luck in your pipe pulls, and I will be seeing you soon enough. Thank you all for the support, and take care everyone. Bye bye.